So without further ado, welcome Hayley.
Hello everybody, can you hear me okay? Okay, I am Hayley Spohn. I currently teach in Federal Way Public Schools as a 6th grade social studies teacher. I have taught 3rd through 8th grade in Baltimore City Public Schools, Mattawa, if you've heard of that, it's Eastern Washington, it's about a mile-long town. And now Federal Way, so rural, suburban, urban, we got it all. I've also taught special education. With that, we're gonna do a live demo challenge. I use colleague AI in my classroom every single day, including with my students. It's part of their routines, their do nows, their assignments. It has allowed me, I've said this so many times in the conference, to not work outside of my contract hours. That's huge, oh my goodness. And yes, because before I met Min and I have talked so many hours, I was done with education because I was so tired and just so burnt out. I love my kids, I love teaching. I could not do it anymore with my own health. So with that being said, AI and colleague have given me a new beginning where I can do all of this. With that, I'm gonna do a live demo. I want you to think about a situation that you want help with. It could be in the classroom. I really kind of focus on the classroom, but I want it to be something where you're like, this feels unmanageable a lot of the time, like project-based learning, differentiation, translations, whatever you need. And Alex is gonna go around with a microphone and you're gonna give me the challenge and I'm gonna show you how to use colleague AI to solve the problem and love your job again. So anybody that can think of one? Oh, we already got one.
Here we go. Project-based learning with chronic absenteeism.
Okay. So real quick, this works best if you have a student profile. I always say, raise your hand if you know the peanut butter and jelly sandwich writing lesson. You've heard me say this so many times. With AI, it's only going to do what you tell it. If you say, put the peanut butter on the bread, it's like taking the jar of peanut butter, putting it on the slice of bread. You're not actually doing it correctly. So with that, I keep certain things on a sticky note on my computer. You can see that for the interactive tool, the teaching aid, I have student profiles already ready to go. So because of that, I'm gonna use my classroom profile for the situation you're talking about. I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna say audience, 6th graders, average reading level 4th grade, WIDA level 2, use SciOps strategies and lots of visuals, chunking each section. This is for the interactive, so I'm gonna edit some of it because we don't need to chunk any of that. We'll just take the audience part of it. So with that, you said project-based learning and chronic absenteeism. Okay, you're gonna see me spell a lot of things wrong. Okay, I want to, you're right. I want to do a project for ancient, let's see, China and the Silk Road. I want it to be project-based learning. However, my students have chronic absences. How do I solve this problem? So a lot of times when we're teaching people how to prompt, we just turn on the microphone. I got that from somebody over here. Yep, you just turn on the microphone because they're like, here's my issue. I want to do project-based learning, but I have chronic absenteeism. And so that is all I have to put in there, but with the student profile, right? We need grade level, we need that WIDA level 2, and they're 6th graders, but they're averaging a 4th grade reading level, that's important. So now it's giving me a ton of stuff. I always keep it on this, however, I have an hour planning period. I don't have time to read all of this. So what I'm gonna do from here is a little trick. It finished populating. I'm gonna write TLDR, too long, didn't read. It's internet slang. Too long, didn't read. And now it's gonna give me a quick solution. And if I like what it says, then I'll go back and read the long stuff to be like, okay, let me figure this out. So break it into mini projects. Instead of one long project, create 3 to 4 2-week mini projects, like what traded on the Silk Road. You could always make roles flexible. Use rotating roles for that. That's kind of like basic, we know that. Go asynchronous or use buddy briefings or choose chunked projects. From this is where human in, human out comes into play. I don't like some of those, I do like some of them. I already have thought about making roles flexible, asynchronous, that's normal. However, breaking it into mini projects, okay, I could do that. However, I'm gonna push back on the model. I'm gonna say, I like the mini projects. However, what if a student is gone every other day rather than for a week at a time? Because that's a problem of practice I'm thinking about. So we're gonna listen and watch Claire think, and it's going to give me some solutions. So design daily self-contained tasks within the mini project. And I cannot see from here, so I'm gonna go over here. So structure each class section so students complete one small meaningful task that contributes to the larger mini project. Think of it like building blocks. Okay, I haven't thought about that part. That's pretty cool. And again, it's giving me really long stuff, so what am I gonna tell it? TLDR, every single time. And that's my learning preference. You might be different. I like to get the quick and dirty and then go back, so it's totally up to you. So make each day self-contained. Each class should be one complete task. Day 1, sketch a trade item. Day 2, write facts about it. Okay, so I'm gonna ask it. You said to sketch a trade item on day 1, then write about it on day 2, but what if they were gone? They were gone day 1. So I'm having a two-way conversation, and I no longer have to do this as an educator by myself where I'm solving all these problems, right? There's so many problems of practice coming up. However, now I have a thought partner that thinks a million times faster than I do and has this whole base of pedagogical knowledge that I might not think of because I'm too stressed out or I'm busy or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. So it's giving me some solutions from there. You can also see there's 2 nudging features. If I don't know where to go from here, I can click on one of these. And so let's see a 2-week choice board. That seems cool. I'm gonna click on that, and it gave me that idea. So if I am at my cognitive load, I just had a kid throw a chair, and now I'm trying to plan on my planning period, like I have access and capacity to do so. And now it's creating it for me. From there, I can download this to my documents, and I can edit it like a Word document. I can send it out to students. I can also adjust it to add more sentence starters, a word bank, visuals, and it just created the project for me. I'm gonna click this Generate Interactive feature. This is a student-facing feature. It's going to take up to 5 minutes to load, so we're gonna talk about some stuff while that's loading. However, we can go on to another problem of practice if somebody has one, and I'll do it on another tab. Yeah, for sure.
So in your student profile, do you load how many touch points you have with each student per week and how many class periods and what timing and minutes that you have so that when it's planning like a 2-week choice board, it knows your schedule? Like, do you preload that or do you include that in your process?
Let me show you. I'm going to duplicate this tab real quick so I can show you where it is. On your profile, and this is a newer feature which has changed my life. Oh my gosh. So customizing colleague AI. You can add whatever you want. So you could say that. And I teach social studies, but I also teach an intervention class for reading. So I have those 2 sections in my profile. And I also have, I don't want M dashes. I don't want, it's not this, it's that. Whenever you're giving me stuff, that's a pet peeve of mine with AI. And then also that we have learning target success criteria. I want one for social studies. I want one for language as well. So every time it's giving me something, it's going to keep those in mind. And also, I uploaded my student data. So for example, this is an overview, right? I'm not giving specific names and everything, but that I have 22 students at a 5th grade level, and it also sees I have 12 students at a 2nd grade level, and that I even have 11 students at kindergarten reading level. So when it's planning things, it's gonna keep that student profile in mind so that I don't have to type it in every time. No problem. Any other questions or problems of practice you want me to go over while this is loading? Oh, there's a question back there.
Many sessions in the last day and a half, and feedback keeps coming up, right? How do we give students immediate feedback when we've got a room full of 30, 35, sometimes 40 even, and the kid just threw a chair,
Yeah.
like all those things. So can you, like, how would you do that in colleague AI where a student is doing the work and they're getting that immediate feedback so that you can then go back, look at it later, maybe read through the feedback, all of those different things?
Yep. So there's two different options. There's a classroom-facing feature, which is great. This is what my students do for their routines every day. The teaching aid is an AI discussion that the teacher creates. So for example, here I do SEL on Monday and Fridays. How was your weekend? What'd you do? I have seen suicidal ideations, family members pass away, fights with friends, and I've been able to intervene when I never would have been able to read how 120 students' weekends were so fast. So I'm able to connect with the counselor or whatever. With this, I have my prompt and it's SEL. It also gives me feedback from the last conversation, so I'm able to copy and paste it and say, historically, this is what my students have a hard time with. They're great at talking about their weekend. They need more language and vocabulary around emotions. So we're working on that emotional intelligence piece. So now that you see how I've created this, this is their do now. And if I preview as a student, actually, this is the demo class, so hold on, let me click on it. If you click on this teaching aid, no students have done it because it's a demo class, but you can click on each of the students and see it, and then they're going to have a conversation with the AI. So let me go back and model that since there's not one up here. And then we'll move on because I'm almost out of time. Preview as a student. I'm gonna click and join this conversation. And you can see the instant feedback that's already happening, and I can see this as a teacher, like I said, where I'm intervening. There's also the interactive, which is gonna get brought on later, but I'm running out of time, like I said. So, for example, it's going in and saying, I don't understand this assignment. So then it's gonna ask me, oh, what kind of assignment? I don't know, you tell me, you're the AI prompt. And then this is based on real student conversations, right? This is what I see. They also break the AI bot sometimes, and I have to adjust my prompts. Like, do not let them say I'm done to trick you with being done. So I said, I guess so. I had a horrible week. And then it's giving me feedback. And then I'm like, oh, do you want to talk in Spanish instead? Yep, it's going to give that to me. And then I go on and go forth. So it's getting feedback from the AI. I can read this as a teacher, and then if it was like math related or social studies related, create tier 2 intervention small groups and go from there based on what I've seen. There's also the student growth insight feature where it gives you your whole class insights. Not gradebook.
I exit out of the student view.
Oh, thank you. You always have to exit out of student view. It still tricks me sometimes. So when I go into student growth insights, it's going to give me the data of all of my kids. I can click on these, they're fake kids, don't worry. But I can click on them and see this specific student, key questions and themes they have. I can also chat with the AI about, tell me what misconception is this student having and how do I address it in my next lesson? Or create a small group lesson. Okay, so we are out of time. However, this is the interactive that was created based on that prompt for project-based learning. And as you can see, I can send this out to my students. It looks great. I can also adjust it. I can tell the AI, I don't like this part, change this, and it will regenerate it. With that, I'm right at my 15 minutes, but thank you so much for listening, and we'll go on to our next speaker.